A case I've not really talked about very much is the Linehan case. Now, we all know Graham Linehan. We know him for his successful comedy show, but we also know him for his very, very, very extreme views on gender identity. And no one was more shocked than him, I don't think, when he got arrested at Heathrow, blood pressure through the roof, ended up in hospital. That must have been quite scary. Being arrested for harassment, being accused of harassment, and also criminal damage. That's not small stuff to be happening to somebody. So let's just unpick it. What did he do and what went wrong and what went right? So October 2024, he posted a series of comments on X about a young transgender woman, Sophia Brooks. She then approached him outside a gender critical conference and started asking him why was he being so offensive towards her on social media. There was a bit of an altercation or a row or disagreement, and it ended up with Graham Linehan snatching her phone and throwing it, and it got damaged. The case came before the courts in November 2025, and two questions were asked of the court. One, did Linehan's social media posts amount to harassment? That's the kind of, the legal term for all of this. And also, were his actions with the phone criminal damage, which is a serious offence? So Linehan said, yes, he did make the posts. And the court did describe them as being deeply unpleasant. And I think we'd all agree with that. They're not nice. I'm not going to repeat them. I wouldn't look them up. Deeply unpleasant. Insulting, very insulting. Don't talk to people like that. And also oppressive and unacceptable. So there was no doubt at all that the court found that behaviour not nice. But the question is, did it actually qualify for being harassment in law? And that was the big question. Sophia said that she was alarmed and distressed by the posts, and I'm sure she was. But just saying that you were alarmed and distressed is different from how deeply alarmed and how deeply distressed you might have been. And that was a key point, I think, in this case. So on harassment, the measure for harassment is high. We can't just say, you said something nasty to me, so I'm going to take you to court and have you found guilty of harassment. It's quite a high bar, and the judge found that on this case, it didn't qualify for harassment. Yes, unpleasant. Yes, insulting. Yes, unacceptable, but not actually criminal harassment. On the phone, Linehan, he said he did take it, he did throw it, but it was more out of anger or frustration than intention. He said he didn't damage it, but the judge looked at the videos and what have you, and it was quite clear that the phone wasn't damaged before he threw it, and then it was damaged. So sorry, Graham, you didn't wiggle out of that one. You damaged her phone, and you got found guilty for criminal damage. It's interesting, why didn't the judge find it to be harassment? And I think for it to be harassment, it has to be very offensive behaviour, but it also has to kind of cause harm. And although Sophia said that she was upset, distressed, alarmed by it, you couldn't really see that in the videos. Why would she follow Graham to a conference if she found him so upsetting? Why didn't she just walk away? And also the judge said the same to Linehan. Why didn't he just walk away? Did you actually need to have this altercation? Did you actually need to take her phone? Did you actually need to chuck it on the floor? You could have just walked away. And I think it's important that if we're facing online abuse or offline abuse, that we should say, I find that unacceptable, I find that hurtful, I find that distressing. I am going to remove myself from the situation. You do have to look after yourself in those situations, don't you? At the end of the day, all humans have the right to live as themselves, peaceful in their own lives, going about their daily business, whatever their sex, their gender identity, their age, their ability, their race, religion. It's up to people how they live their own life. And as long as it's not causing any hurt to anybody else, then that's how we can all live together, obviously. And I think that the message from this is just be nice to people, just accept people for who they are. There's no need to have a rampage and a riot online or offline. Let's just be nice to each other. And Linehan, I hope you've learnt your lesson.